For tuning into this episode of the Nick Egan Times. We have an awesome guest on this episode. We have Alexia Chanofilou, who's a business owner of Better Brows Microblading, proud wife, proud Greek lady, and proud Greek family woman. Thanks for joining this episode today. I do appreciate it, Alexia.
Hello, thank you for having me, cuz
Welcome, cuz. How's it all going over there?
it's going well. COVID is still a thing here, so it's been very different than normal times, but I know things are going to get better soon. A lot different than Australia, though, I've heard.
Yeah, it's died down, but we still have our issues and pockets of it. So, yeah, it's not great, that's for sure.
Right.
How was your Christmas and holidays?
Everything was nice. It was definitely a little bit quieter than usual. Um, we had to wear masks with my mom's side of the family, but it was cold here. I'm jealous that it wasn't warm like it is in Australia when you guys celebrate. Um, so what's the temperature over there right now?
It's actually overcast at the present time, and to be fair, it's not like other summers. It's actually been quite overcast and rainy and stuff. I think it's because of the El Nino or something to do with that. It happens like once every decade, so it's just this summer that it's just really overcast and not great weather. So it's not usually like this, but yeah, it hasn't been the greatest weather.
What's the temperature?
I'd say about
Uh,
23, 22 degrees. I don't know what that is in conversion to
I'll,
you because I know you guys do
yeah.
Fahrenheit. Yeah.
I was gonna say that. I'm like, wait, you're gonna say Celsius, and I don't. I know like the conversion kind of, but I don't know. I don't know what that is off the top of my head, but I'm sure it's warmer than here, so that's great.
It's snowing there, yeah.
It did a little bit actually on Christmas Eve. We had a light dusting, but we haven't had like a big snowfall or anything. But about 4 hours north where my husband's family lives, they had like 16 or 18 inches of snow. So only, yeah, 4 hours away from us. They got a
Wow,
lot. So yeah.
that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you guys don't see snow over there ever, do you?
Oh, we do, but it's down in Perisher and other places down south, so not in Sydney. When
Gotcha.
you,
Okay.
yeah, when you go further south, you can go to certain places and you can get it.
Okay, that's what I didn't even know that, so that's interesting. Nice.
Sure. All right, for the listeners, let's jump straight in. Who is Alexia Trantafiliou?
I am a 27-year-old gal from Cincinnati, Ohio, USA. I grew up here and I went to school here, high school, college. I didn't live like the crazy lifestyle of like a regular college student where most people go away and kind of live that college life. Um, I lived at home and I commuted, but I'm not mad about it because I really am close with my family. And honestly, it kept my butt in line as far as grades and just doing the right thing. So after college, I I studied dietetics, but actually I went into sales. I did pharmaceuticals, which I know sounds glorious, but it was actually very much a grind over the phone selling drugs, which is very difficult. And shortly after that, about 3 years later, I realized I wanted to do microblading. And for those of you who don't know what microblading is, it's a form of semi-permanent makeup that gives the illusion of real hair-like strokes. So it's not a tattoo. A lot of people like to compare it to one, and I guess it's similar, but it's not quite a tattoo. Um, and then that's kind of where I am in my life today, um, as far as having my own business. So, yeah, and I just got married in September to Michael.
That's amazing. Take us all back to where it all began for you. You're obviously a proud Greek lady, and you come from a great Greek family. Where did it all begin for you?
Oh, yeah, are you talking about like my business?
Oh no, just like your family when you're younger, living in Cincinnati.
Oh gosh. You never had privacy at home, but I love my family for that. They're so sweet, very energetic. Whenever I'd walk through the door, I felt like some people have a dog greeting them. I had a father instead. He would always yell my name and just was so happy to see me. A lot of energy. I think that's why it was easy for me to live at home my whole life up until shortly after we got engaged and we bought our own home. Um, but yeah, as far as that, I mean, I've always been super close with my family. Let's see what else. I know I told you one of the fun facts about Greeks is we celebrate name days. Did you guys do that growing up, Nick?
Yeah, but not to the extent of you and your family. So we do celebrate
Yeah.
it worldwide, yeah.
Yeah, because my mom's side of the family, my yaya and papoose over there, I saw it more than my dad's side. But I mean, it was kind of like you're having another little birthday throughout the year where people would play cards and different games, and the wives would make coffee. Just have like a bunch of food spread out. So I would always get excited when it was like my mom or my yaya and papoo's name day, and we would go over there, and it was just another celebration, which was very different because nobody else I knew celebrated that. Um, and then I also mentioned to you for New Year's Day every year we celebrate what's called the Vasilopita. Unfortunately, this year it has been postponed due to COVID. But do you do that?
Not to the extent again of what you guys do. No.
Yeah, so I was kind of telling some of my clients about it when they were asking about my New Year. It's basically where the family gets together every New Year's Day, and usually my grandma, my yaya, she makes a giant like a sweet Greek bread. It's called chureki, and she hides a quarter in the bottom of it, wrapped in aluminum foil, and then we divide the bread up into however many people there are, and whoever gets the quarter, well, we have little flags with toothpicks so you can put your name in each piece, and whoever gets the quarter. Um, Supposed to have good luck for the rest of the year where our family kind of everything always has to be taken to the next level. If you knew our family, Nick, you understand this.
I know you got the
Where
king. You got the king as your dad.
no, he's the king. I know. God love him. Everybody puts $5 in a pot, so you win the corner, you get good luck, and you get a little extra cash on the side. So it makes it fun. There's a lot of um I guess what do you call it? Just talking smack in group chat starts right after Christmas up until that day of who's going to win the quarter. So it's always something to look forward to every year. Um, and then yeah, now it's definitely been different being a wife because I mean, I'm so blessed to have married such a wonderful guy, but you take on I don't want to say a lot of responsibilities because that's not really what I'm going for, but you're just growing together with another person by your side and it's actually it's awesome. I love it. I'm so glad our wedding did not have to get postponed due to COVID because a lot of people's have in starting March of 2020, at least here in the US, and we are kind of smack dab in the middle when things started getting better. It was like, oh, okay, stuff started opening back up. I got to have my wedding, but now again, a lot of brides are having to postpone it. So it's been a crazy year, I know, for all of us, really. But
I know. What a time to be
yeah,
alive.
I know, I know. So it actually has, like, trying to look at the bright side of things, I feel like it has um, kind of brought a slower pace life to me. And I feel like also when I talk to others, they kind of feel the same way. Instead of everything's always rush, 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 it kind of is forcing people to maybe slow down a bit, spend more time with their families. I mean, obviously being safe about it, but going home having a curfew, that's so bizarre. I never thought that this would be a thing, but
So have you still got a curfew over there?
do we still have a what? I'm sorry.
A curfew.
We do, at least here in Ohio. Every state's different. It's 10 o'clock. So, yeah, usually last call is like a little bit before that, and then they want you out before 10.
And what time can you leave your house to go back out?
I mean, if you're like on the road driving past 10 o'clock, they're not going to pull you over. At least that's what they said. I've been out past that if I'm going over to my parents' house or something and they won't pull you over. But as far as like bars and restaurants, they're closed, so there's not really anywhere to go.
Okay, in the morning though, what time can you go back out? So is it like 6 a.m., 6:30?
Oh, um, that's a good question. Yeah, I think it's like yeah, I think it's like 6 a.m., 5 or 6. I'm not really sure. That's when I'm getting my best sleep, so I don't even know. Because
Okay.
you guys were on lockdown and you told me something about it was like with your counties, is that correct?
Yeah, so basically we got areas that are similar to your counties. So I live on the northern beaches. So basically it's just I guess, probably the best way to describe it to be closest to a county of what your area and what you describe it as. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, recently we had a COVID cluster in our area, pardon me, and basically yeah, like just before Christmas, a week before Christmas, it was in complete lockdown my area, so I couldn't really do anything except go out and do exercise and essential stuff we you were able to do. So that was for about 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, so how did I wanted to ask you, how do they patrol that if you, because it seems like they're stricter over there than here. Um, do they have like police over there if you cross your county and go into the one next door? Like, are you going to get in big trouble or what do they do?
Yeah, it's set up in a way that basically the community manages it, and it's not a good look if you do it. Everybody obviously just wants to enjoy life the best they can, and by going out and putting other people at risk, you're a good chance of spreading it if you potentially have it. So the way they've
Mm-hmm.
set it up is the government's very strict. If they believe that there's a cluster and it's going to cause issue and spread it across the city, then they'll just shut down the areas. Police do manage it, so. Yeah, they're very strict. So if you haven't got an excuse or a reason to, for example, leave my area when the lockdown was on and go out of it, you would have got fined $1,000. So
Wow. Oh, wow.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it's really strict. So I guess that's how they've managed it the best way is because they've enforced it and they've made it mandatory that you have to stay at home if you're in that area or wherever they do it or decide to do it if there's a cluster.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow. I didn't realize the fine was that much. That's insane.
I was reading an article, a couple in Victoria, which is another state down south,
Mm-hmm.
they got off the airplane and ran away, I believe, from the officer, and they like just ran away because they didn't want to do the 14-day quarantine. And I saw they both got fined $19,000 each.
Oh my God. Wow. I can't say
So
much. I might run too.
it's like nearly 40 grand. So
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a lot of money just for that. They should have just kind of behaved, I guess, but there's always that 1% that wants to you know, be rebellious, I guess.
yeah, do what they want.
Yep.
All right, so take us back and tell us about your Greek family. I know you're very proud of your Greek heritage. What does it mean to you personally to be Greek and the culture of Greece?
I just feel like when I grew up, um, I definitely could tell, like, I have a lot of friends that are close with their family, but I think I'm the closest by far. And like I said, we always joke that we're always in each other's business. It's always loud. You can't really hear yourself talk to the person next to you at family parties. We always joke about how we're the loudest ones in the restaurant, loudest ones on the plane, but it's all out of love and, just everybody wanting to know what's going on in your life. Everyone's always really proud. We're always talking about the next thing in life and looking at things in a positive way. Family over everything, food. We took a big trip last year to Greece, which I know you know where I got engaged.
Yeah.
And I think there was like around 18 of us, give or take a few. And I mean, I had the time of my life, and I know the whole family said the same thing. Michael did too. We're just all like always uplifting one another. And, if anybody ever needed anything, we would be there in a heartbeat for each other and just celebrating again, like each holiday. And for example, when we have Easter, according to the Greek calendar, sometimes it falls the same as the American Easter, but sometimes it can be like a week after or so.
Yeah, I know that.
Um, yeah, so just little things like that. Everything is always revolved around food, which I'm not mad about because I'm a foodie. I love to cook. Same with Michael. What else? I think those are some of the main things. My friends always get a kick out of coming over and going over my yaya's house. And I remember we still joke about it to this day. One of my friends was like, yeah, I remember we were 16 driving in your convertible and you're like, oh, I just want to stop at my yaya's house real quick. We're by her house. Yeah, well, that real quick turned into 4 hours later. I think she fed us everything that she whipped up, and they always want to feed you, and it's a good time. And then when my husband first met my yaya and papu, we were stopping over for lunch, and I kid you not, I think we called them maybe like 30 minutes prior to arriving. We're like, hey, are you guys home? We're gonna stop over. Yeah, 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 come over. And oh my gosh, you walk in, the house smells amazing. They have like a 5 or 6 course meal for lunch that she whipped up in 30 minutes. That is not normal. I don't care what anybody says, that is not normal. And it was all just fresh. I don't know, like my yaya is amazing. She just can make anything at any time. And it's all gourmet stuff. It's not just like, oh, here's some toast with peanut butter. It's like Greek meatballs with this tomato sauce and juice and all these amazing spices. I don't even know. There's so many things that she made. And Michael was like, oh my gosh, like we just called them. I'm like, yeah, this is normal. And then I started to realize, like, okay, this might be normal for me, but to others, the look on everyone else's face was like, oh my gosh, these people really do like to eat.
That's great
Yeah.
for you.
Oh my gosh, always. Yeah. And they love their ouzo and tiparo too. Have you had those?
I've had Uzo, I haven't had the other one, the latter.
Yeah, tiparo is it's a Greek moonshine. Oh God, I don't like it. Mm-mm. But my papool, he loves it. He could drink that probably every lunch if my yaya allowed him.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, and then I talk about the name day and the different holidays.
Where would you go back to in Greece, and where would you recommend listeners to go to? Which is your favorite place?
Ooh, so I mean, Santorini is obviously amazing. Everyone knows about it because it's on every calendar, postcard, credit card with the white buildings with the blue roofs. But second, I really loved Paros, Paros. It just felt so authentic there. You're eating dinner and the water's splashing up right next to you. Just the little walkways, the little stone walkways, and then you have those, um, I don't even know, like the concrete sides that you're walking past one another. It's similar to, I don't want to say it's similar to Santorini, but it still has those like the white buildings and the little walkways. I don't know. It's just gorgeous. You don't see that anywhere. When we asked the family, a lot of people put Paddles at the top too when we took our trip last year.
Sounds
I don't
amazing.
know. Yeah, I don't know. And the food is always good. I mean, if you won't go hungry, obviously. But I just remember that was really cool. We had the water literally like splashing up right next to us. You're like, oh wow, I'm on the sea. Like, and I'm eating this delicious chicken and all these drinks, appetizers, dessert, and it just felt like you're in a whole different country. Because sometimes you go places and you're like, yeah, this is great, but it doesn't always have that feel to it. Where, I
Sure.
don't know, something different about Patos.
I'll have to go there.
But
I haven't been there, yeah. Sounds amazing.
yeah, we went to Milos too, and I liked it. It's just so small. Um, you're kind of limited of what to do. But Santorini, obviously, yeah, everyone knows about that one. It is more touristy now. But I mean, yeah, the views and the caldera, that cliff, those views are just you can't beat them. And then they also has, I think, is it Oya or Thea? I think it's Oya. They have like the most beautiful sunset in the world, and you have to get there like 2 hours before the sun sets to get a spot. Otherwise, it's so crowded you will not be able to watch the sun. And everyone gathers around outside, and then once the sun goes down, they clap. And that's every night because that's how beautiful the sunset is there. So even though it's touristy, it's definitely a must visit.
Wow.
You've been there, right?
To Santorini?
Yeah,
Yeah, heaps of times. I love it.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
probably one of my favorite places, if not my favorite place to go to on the planet.
yeah. I
Gorgeous
think that.
sunsets there. Yeah.
So you watch the sunset too, right?
Yeah, I love it. I love Red Beach. There's just, for me personally, I like it because there's so many different areas of Santorini you can go. It like caters, I believe, for every type of person. So if you want to go ride the quad bikes, you can go swimming. You can
Yep.
just do so many different things, that relates to everyone, I believe.
Yeah, and I highly suggest we did the catamaran cruise, and that was probably the best day of my life. I mean, these waters, it's I mean, you can see deep down. It's so clean out there. It's like it almost looks like turquoise, but it just looks fake. And I remember asking the guy, and I was like, nobody talks about sharks? There's no shark, and they would always laugh at me. They're like, every American asks this, and they're like, no, there's no shark. And he actually taught us this, where sharks don't exist out there because they can't survive. The waters are so salty they can't breathe. So I
Wow.
thought that was an interesting fact because I
Yeah.
never knew that. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. So you just taught me something.
Uh-huh. So I'm like, oh, so then I was less, I wasn't a chicken at that point to get in the water. I was like, okay. I mean, yeah, the water's really cold, but it's just so fresh. And yeah, it is so salty. When you get out of the water, you have like that white film on you from the salt, but I don't know, it's so refreshing. So the catamaran cruise, yeah, they feed you on that too. Good stuff. So it's like I want to say a whole day's adventure, but I mean it's pretty long. Um,
You're
and
talking
like
me
you
into going. I wish I was there right now.
I know, me too. Gosh, I can't wait until international travel is allowed again. And like you said, you can go on the quads. Like, there's so much to do in Santorini. Um, it was funny because I remember the very first time I went, I was 19, and a lot of the beaches, like you mentioned, the red beach, like there's all the different colors, but one of them, a lot of people kept recommending, it was the sand is black and it's from the volcanic rock. You knew that, right?
Sure.
It is so hot that it was a little bit of a struggle to get in the water because you have to put your flip-flops on, walk to the water, leave them right at the edge, and then get in the water. Otherwise, your feet will totally burn. Well, then it's like, oh man, there comes a wave and it takes your flip-flops, and then you're like swimming after your flip-flops. So it kind of, it's kind of funny because normally you don't have to worry about that. So, yeah, even though it's beautiful, the beaches, yep, you'll burn your feet.
Tell me about the proposal that Michael did in Greece.
Yeah, so we were in Santorini last summer, and I had told him about this winery I visited when I was there, again, when I was 19, like I mentioned, and I saw a wedding happening there, and it was down where the sunset was happening. And I told my parents, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to get married here. And I knew that would never happen. That's very difficult to make happen. But Michael, I told him about it too. And he knew since we couldn't get married there, he wanted to propose there. So the whole group was drinking wine, and then my dad's like, "Oh, I want to go down there and take a picture." And it was like, you go down the steps, and there's a whole this platform um, overlooking the Aegean Sea, and then the sun setting right there. So they waited till sunset. So we're all in line, standing there, about to take a picture, and my dad's like, "All right, ready? One, two." And then Michael grabbed me and pulled me in front of the whole family and got down on one knee and proposed to me, which was awesome because I was hoping it was going to happen then, but I didn't know. I was like, gosh, it'd be great. We're going to Greece if that happened, but I had no idea. So I was like in such awe. And it was great too, because again, he knows how close I am with my family, and he did it in front of all them, which makes him a brave man.
Wow.
Yeah, and he even asked Dad's permission, the king's permission. So
Very
yeah, that
cool.
was awesome. So we went back up to our table at the winery and finished off our drinks there. Then we went out dancing that night with all the cousins to the clubs, and it was probably like 2 or 3 in the morning um, when we got home. So, because they're open super late there, I think they're open till like 5 or 6 a.m.
Sure. Tell me about microblades.
Microblading. Yeah, so like I mentioned before, it's a form of semi-permanent makeup that gives the illusion of real hair-like strokes. And a lot of people try to compare it to a tattoo, and it's not as deep into the skin, so that's what the difference is. And it's about 3 hours, so it does take a long time, but it's just a lot of women are very conscious of their eyebrows because they know that it makes a difference to the face. So we map the client out according to their natural facial features and their brow bone. I know you're probably laughing at me like a brow bone. What are you talking about? But
You learn,
once we
so you learn something new every day. So there you go.
yeah, it's basically your face, the anatomy of your face. So once we get the shape intact, then we'll start the hair stroke. So it's a manual hand tool. The blade is super, super tiny. There's about 18 fine needles in a row. And essentially what happens is we dip that in pigment and we make tiny little cuts on the top layer of skin. So it sounds painful, but on a scale of 1 to 10, most people find that the pain is like a 2. It's kind of just an annoying scratch. So once I make the initial strokes, then I add numbing and then we go over the strokes just a little bit deeper. Top of the second layer of skin, add pigment, and then that's when the brow starts coming to life and looking like an actual brow. So what we're drawing is hair strokes. So there's a lot that goes into it. That's why it's such a long appointment. But yeah, I mean, it's a very rewarding job because when I make people happy every day, I mean that makes me happy. I love what I do, and I've also always been into art, so it kind of I fell into this by accident, and it's been a blessing ever since. So I'm super happy about it. I love what I do.
Yeah, I know, and I know personally, obviously, all the work you put into starting your own business, and I believe you've already booked out for a month. Is that right?
I am, yeah, about 4 to 5 weeks. So
That's amazing.
thanks. Yeah, I remember when I had my health inspection, and they were like, "Yeah, we like one other person started doing this like 2 months ago. You're the second one in Cincinnati to open," which I was super pumped about. I couldn't find anybody doing it. So I actually trained in New York. I don't know if I told you that.
You did, and you went to
Hmm.
Phoenix too, I believe.
And Chicago, yep.
How did that all happen?
So through my academy, once you get to like a certain, um, once you get to a certain point of microblading, you can take other classes of advanced training, but you pretty much have to have the basics down. So I did a perfection course one-on-one with what we call a master. A master is basically like you're like the top in the world for this. Um, there's not like a ton of them out there. So I trained one on one with a master for perfection training and then advanced training. Yeah, and that was great because even though my class in New York was only 6 people, when you have one master working with 6 people as opposed to one on one, like obviously I got so much more out of it. But I love traveling, so it was fun. New York, obviously, it's very hectic there, a lot different than Cincinnati where I live. So I was glad it wasn't like super, super long. I don't know if I would survive there, but I had fun and I was living with my one of my best friends, Bethany. she kind of took me under her wing there, and I was sleeping on a blow up mattress, and that was, oh God, that was not fun.
Sure.
But yeah, that was great. I mean, I was
Did
lucky I
you?
could stay with her, so I wasn't mad about it.
Yeah, well, you got free accommodation, so that's pretty cool. And you're in New York City.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I was ready to get out of my pharmaceutical job, and I accidentally came across microblading on Instagram. I've always been obsessed with art, like I said, and then eyebrows too. So I guess the algorithm kind of put microblading in front of my face, and I was like, "What is this?" And I just became obsessed with watching videos every single night, laying in bed. I'm like, "I'm going to do this. There is not an option. Like, I'm going to do this." So that's when I put my life on pause here and went to New York and started learning it. Yeah, I
That's
never
amazing.
thought. Yeah, I never thought that I would be doing eyebrows. That's for sure. But yeah, it's been a blessing ever since. So I love it. Is it popular there in Australia?
I'm a guy, so I don't know personally too much
Yeah.
about it. So I
I don't,
believe,
I don't
obviously,
know
it
why I
would be
asked you.
around. Yeah, I believe it would be. Yeah, I believe it would be around. So
I'll have to
yeah,
ask Anne Marie, your sister. I'll have to ask her.
yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, because I feel like the US and then specifically the Midwest where I live, we're kind of last. Um, of course, it always hits overseas, Europe, and then it comes to the bigger cities like New York, Chicago, LA, Miami.
Is
And
it big
then
over there?
what?
Is it big? Is microblading big over there?
In the bigger cities?
Yeah.
More popular than where I am. There's some people I still meet on a regular basis where they're like, I was just told what microblading is, or oh, what do you do? Oh, what is that? I've never heard of that. Um, People are definitely catching on quicker to what it is. Obviously, social media helps that as well, but
Yeah.
some people still are not really sure. They've never even heard of it. So, but yeah, we seem to be the last with like everything as far as yeah, beauty, fashion, and whatnot. But that's okay.
It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Being at a young age that you still are, where does Alexia see herself in 10 years with Michael as well, obviously?
10 years. Oh my gosh. What does that put me at? 37? Oh man, I'll be an old goat, Nick. Well, we definitely want to have kids, so we're thinking two kids. Um, so probably having kids. Let's see. I if I have kids, I will probably not work as much just because I want to spend time with them, since that's what my mom did. I
Sure.
guess how you grow up, you kind of want to follow in their footsteps. Not everyone does, but I feel like I want to do that. We kind of talked about that. Um, yeah. I don't think I'll ever hire people on at work just because I kind of want to keep it more just myself and a simpler life. I know when you hire people on, I mean, there's pros and cons to everything, but that might be making my life a little bit more stress and chaotic, which I don't want. If I can spend more time with my family, I definitely want to do more travel. I want to go to Australia and see you. Duh.
I'm waiting. Come.
I know. As soon as this COVID stuff are allowed, I'm there. Yeah, travel, kids. What else? Michael and I, we are trying to do more. We want to get into doing more volunteer stuff, and then I don't know. I want to do something. What were we talking about the other day? Something about like going to go visit kids at the hospital, but obviously you can't even have visitors right now, so we haven't talked about that since, I don't know, just briefly before the holidays. I know nothing doesn't sound too crazy, but I mean, international travel, we have Australia on our list. We have Italy and Paris. That's we were supposed to go to Italy and Paris for our honeymoon, but obviously with COVID that did not happen. Um, where I know you've been to a lot of places. What are your favorite places to visit? I should be asking you.
Um, for me personally, obviously Greece because I'm biased, but
Mm-hmm.
I like, there's like a lot of favorites, and I always get asked it, like, what's my favorite city or my favorite country or favorite place? Bar Greece. Yeah, I like every single place that I've been to generally for the reason that they all add value and they add something different culturally. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like I love Italy, I love Paris, I love France, I love Switzerland, um, yeah, Spain. Like, there's just so many places. I love Mexico, I've been there. There's just so many places just add different value and the culture of it. So for me personally, I can't just be like specifically that place is my favorite place and that's the only place. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been to Singapore?
Yes, I have.
Okay, yeah. It's funny because I've heard people talk about it briefly, but then when you look up pictures, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is gorgeous." Like
Yeah, it really is.
I never really thought about that when I was younger. You know, you always hear about the same places like Italy, and yeah, I mean, I'm biased too with the whole Greece thing. Like, yeah, it's
Yeah,
gorgeous.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I love trying like different foods to different countries. I love ethnic super to like learn about the culture and uh yeah, I want to go to Singapore too.
Yeah, Singapore is beautiful. It's really clean. There's a lot to do. Yeah, I really enjoyed Singapore.
Yeah, I wonder, is it expensive over there? Because for example, like Greece, it's cheap. You can get like a whole liter of wine for like €5 and everything just seems so cheap. Once you're over there, you're good.
It's all right. Like it's not compared to other Asian countries, it's a little bit more expensive, but it's not like too expensive. If I can put it in that position. It's not
Mm-hmm.
it's not yeah, like it's probably one of the richer countries out of Asia. But yeah, like it's okay. And I believe to your US dollar, it wouldn't be that much difference.
Okay.
It'd probably be cheaper anyway.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know how every culture compares to the US dollar, so it's always
Well, you've got a
interesting.
apart from the UK and a couple other countries, you've got a powerful dollar. So yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so sweet. My family from Greece sent me for as a wedding gift some euros, and I'm like, oh man, I don't know when I'm gonna get to use this. Thanks. So sweet of them. I guess I'll just save it and then when we go use it. But yeah, that's funny. I can't wait until everything opens back up again. I know that you were trying to come over here for our wedding, which thank you for that. That's so sweet of you, and unfortunately, didn't work out.
it is what it is, and yeah, I'm hoping that once these restrictions lift, I can get over there maybe this year and do some more traveling. So yeah, when they open international borders, I'll be definitely coming over there and probably going to Europe as well. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. I know. I'm curious to see how this all pans out because I don't think that people are going to be so quick to jump on a plane. So I think it'll still take time to ease into all this and getting back on flights and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
Alexia, thank you for your time today. I do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Miss you.
Miss you more. If you guys want to follow Alexia's business, you can follow it at Better Browse Cincinnati, or you can follow Alexia's Instagram page at _Better Browse. Have a good day, Alexia.